What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. So the Las Vegas Raiders started off the 2024 regular season with a loss. The Raiders fall 22-10 to the Los Angeles Chargers, and overall it was a very ugly game, especially for the Raiders offense. I felt like the defense, you really couldn't ask much more from them. They did their job. They got stop after stop for like 80% of the game, but the offense really struggled to get the tires turning. And today I just wanted to jump into the film and analyze what I noticed when watching the film of the offense this week. Going to be analyzing the offensive line and the performance of Gardner Minshew right here. So without further ado, let's jump right into the tape. Now here on this play, we're going to see how right guard Dylan Parham gets beat by the blitzing linebacker. He is late on recognizing the blitz, and the linebacker is able to get behind him, and he's able to help blow up the run up the middle for the Chargers to start this game. Early in the game here, we got a 3rd and 1 for the Raiders offense. We got Brock Bowers coming in motion, and a couple of different things happen here. First, I don't love this delayed handoff, especially on a 3rd and 1 situation. It just feels like the play takes forever to develop, and it takes a long time for Gardner Minshew to get the ball into Zamir White's hand. But you can also see how center Andre James isn't able to win his matchup, and really he's unable to generate any push up front. He gets pushed back deep into the backfield, and this forces Zamir White to slow down and try to avoid him in the backfield, and then nobody's able to contain Joey Bosa coming off the backside, and the Raiders get stuffed in the run game right here. Now a big play for the Raiders offense early on in the football game. 4th and 1, and the Raiders decide to go for it. Here we can see Andre James gets beat off the snap. The Chargers nose tackle is able to shed the block, and he's able to blow this play up. Also, Michael Mayers tries to save the day with that lead block, but this is just not enough. It's going to be very difficult to convert on situations like this when our center gives up plays like this one right here. Here, the Raiders are going to utilize Brock Bowers in a nice motion out of the backfield, and instead of hitting him immediately, Gardner Minshew looks to Davante Adams. He sees that he's covered. He tries to scramble and climb up in the pocket, and once he feels the defender on his left-hand side to bring him down, he then dumps it off to Brock Bowers, but he just way overthrows this. I mean, these are simple throws that Gardner Minshew has to be more consistent with his ball placement. Not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, but he's got to be able to hit his receiver right here. Here we have another rep where the Raiders get dominated in the ground game. We got Dylan Parham, who has his pad level way too high and is unable to anchor down on his man. And then we got Andre James, who literally just falls down and leaves his man unblocked, which leads to another play that the Chargers were able to stuff up front. And for the Raiders offense, even in the plays where we were able to convert, you can see how the offensive line was still struggling right here. And you know Gardner Minshew could sense this as the quarterback. He could sense that pressure, which is likely why we saw so many quick throws and screens from the offense in their play calling. Now right here, the Raiders' only touchdown of the day, and it really came because of poor tackling from the Chargers secondary. Gardner Minshew overall does a good job going through his progressions, eventually goes to the check down, hits Alexander Mattison, and after that he does the rest. He does a good job, able to make 2 defenders miss and walk in for a touchdown. Play action pass right here, and the Raiders do a good job selling what appears to be a screen pass to Zamir White, but instead they're going to target Brock Bowers down the field. And shout out to Brock Bowers with this really good route. He gets wide open, and this is one of the biggest plays of the game for this offense. 3rd down right here for the Raiders, and we got Davante Adams running a deep corner route, and we got Michael Mayer and Trey Tucker on these deep post routes, and nothing is open against this cover 3 zone look from the Chargers. But we can see the offensive line does give up some pressure, and our left tackle Kolton Miller specifically gets dominated on this rep. The defensive man is able to push him back, bully him, and he gets in the lap of the quarterback, and Gardner Minshew is forced to take a sack right here. Here on this rep, the Chargers run Joey Bosa on an inside stunt, and Andre James and Dylan Parham are unable to pick this up, and it forces another sack here on back-to-back plays for the Chargers. And right here we got the first turnover of the day, and not gonna lie to you, I mean, not a whole lot to analyze here. This play was just absolutely unacceptable from a starting level quarterback in the National Football League. Looking back on it, I mean, it almost seems like Gardner Minshew was expecting to just immediately throw a quick screen to Davante Adams and let him try to make a man miss immediately off the line. And Davante Adams kind of runs this route down the field, so maybe when Gardner Minshew sees this, he sort of panics and tries to keep the ball instead of throwing it. But instead, I mean, he literally just fumbles the football. This was a very ugly play, like I said. Even if it was a broken play or not, this can't be the ultimate outcome from this play. Gardner Minshew has to protect the football, and instead he fumbles the football, and this play right here really changed the entire momentum of the game for the Raiders offense. They never were quite the same after this, and the most frustrating part is that we literally handed away possession to the Chargers. The situation too, we were up 7-3 with under 2 minutes to go. The Raiders also got the ball to start the half. So I'm thinking to myself, we're not that far away from field goal position. At the bare minimum, you gotta walk out of this possession up 10-3, and you don't allow the Chargers another possession before the half. But a major mistake from Gardner Minshew, and the Raiders shot themselves in the foot right here. And right here on this one, right when the Raiders were finally starting to run the ball a little bit more effectively, we got Zamir White who coughs up the football, fumbles it, and the Raiders, like I said, they kept shooting themselves in the foot in this game. Another crucial turnover. Here we got Gardner Minshew making a good throw, and Reed is able to hit Davante Adams on this dig route across the middle against this cover 3 look. Good execution and good read from Minshew right here. Here we got the Chargers showing an all-out blitz pre-snap, and they ultimately end up blitzing the linebackers off the edge, and they drop some defensive linemen back into coverage. But here I feel like Gardner Minshew has got to recognize the potential for the blitz pre-snap, and he's got to have a plan. He's got to get it to his hot route, get the ball off quickly. And right here, I feel like he should have got the ball out of his hands a lot quicker. He had Trey Tucker on this out route, and instead he holds onto the ball a little bit too long, and the pressure ultimately gets there from the blitz, and he's forced to just move around and just throw this out of bounds. Now right here, we got another big play from this offense. The Raiders get Trey Tucker on a deep dig route and Jakobi Meyers on a comeback route against this deep cover 3 look. And Gardner Minshew is going to get really lucky as he is forced to step up to avoid the free blitzing linebacker we failed to pick up. But he throws this on the move, and essentially he overthrows Trey Tucker. But luckily for him, it goes right to Jakobi Meyers for a huge gain. So all of this was a good play. At the end of the day, it was a misexecution from Gardner Minshew, and we definitely got lucky right here. So take that for what it is. And on this play, I mean, by this stage of the game, we're down 22-10. The Raiders fail to go for it on 4th and 1. We punt the football. The Chargers go ahead and score, and the game is essentially over right here. This is garbage time, and just Gardner Minshew is going to try to check this down to Alexander Madison out of the backfield, and the pass gets tipped up by Khalil Mack, and it falls right to the Chargers defensive tackle for the interception and the third and final turnover for this offense. So overall, Raider Nation, this Raiders offense was very bad. It was very underwhelming, very concerning. My biggest takeaways from watching the film was the Raiders offensive line struggled, and this is a huge concern for me because this was definitely a big need going to this offseason, and I don't know if we really addressed it in a big way. Now, the season is still young. Hopefully this offensive line can improve. We got a guy like Jackson Powers Johnson who hasn't been able to set foot on the football field yet, but at the same time, my expectations are a little bit low on him. I don't think a rookie coming into the NFL is going to completely dominate year one, so I don't know how much he would be able to improve this offensive line, but I do like the nastiness and physicality he brings. But overall, Andre James struggled, and this isn't the first time that he's struggled in the past. He has some good games, and then he also has some bad ones. Dylan Parham didn't look good either. That's a little bit concerning. And Kolton Miller is supposed to be our best player out there, and he didn't look great. He's coming off of an injury as well. So I don't know. I'm also kind of concerned that maybe we've seen the best out of Kolton Miller. Like, has this guy already reached his peak? You know, something to keep in mind. But the Raiders' offensive line not being good is very concerning for this team moving forward. And one of the biggest issues too with this is the fact that the Raiders couldn't run the ball effectively, and there was multiple different times where we were in 3rd and 1 situations and a 4th and 1, and we weren't able to get 1 yard. This was multiple different times. That is very concerning. I understand every now and then a defense is going to get a huge stop like that. They know the run is coming, but for us to not be able to convert on that in 3 different occasions just shows that the Raiders' offensive line was outmatched. Quarterback Gardner Minshew had a terrible fumble. At times he was holding onto the football too long, and he still appears a little bit inconsistent and erratic, especially with his ball placement, throwing the football down the field. Overall, you look at his stat line, he threw for 257 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he went 25 of 32 throwing the football in terms of completions. So overall, not a terrible performance, but the offensive line and run game struggled tremendously. And this is a big concern because I feel like no matter who the quarterback is, sure, if you're not a fan of Gardner Minshew, that's okay. But if Aiden O'Connell is out there, Aiden O'Connell has much less mobility than Gardner Minshew. And if the offensive line looks like it did week 1, if we can't open up holes in the run game, and if we can't protect our quarterback, whether it be Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, this offense is going to struggle. At times, I felt like we were a little bit predictable, a lot of screen plays. And I think that's only going to continue if our offensive line struggles. So I don't know. I don't want to overreact, but week 1 looked very bad for this offense. It is a new quarterback. It is a new system. But still, I expected more. And they're going to have to get better very quickly as we go on the road against Baltimore. And historically, Baltimore's always had a very solid and stout defense. So that's not going to be an easy task for this offense. Luke Getsy has a lot to show as well. The play calling felt very vanilla to me. A very basic game plan. I don't want to say it was preseason vanilla, but it also wasn't very creative at all. So there's a lot of improvement to be made from this offense. We got a huge test on the road for this team in general, but there's no doubt it starts with the offense. We need to help out this defense. We can't continue to miss out on points and turn the ball over like we did. But Raider Nation, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think is the biggest issue with this offense? But that being said, Raider Nation, that's all for you guys in today's video. If you love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.